Hello there, this is Sofsen and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'll still be uploading tutorial videos and many more software content for you guys. Right now, I'll be showcasing you on how to use while loops and for loops in JavaScript. So enough talk, let's get right into this video. So what is loops in JS? So loops are used to iterate a value or a variable that is used to repeat a set of instructions. For example, if we want to ask a user for a number between 1 to 10 as a range, we don't know how many times the user may enter a large number. So for 1 to 10, let's call it 5. So if we wanted to use a while loop, we could use a while loop to iterate all the numbers that has 1 and 10. So depending how long the range is, it showcases that the loops are very useful to indicate and check to ensure that if that loop is true or if that condition of the loop is false. So let's look for more practical exercises for loops. Okay, cool. So let's try this again because there is a crash going on in the server when adding the while loop. We use a different example. We'll say I stands for, we'll call this a value. So let I equals to 30. And all we want to do is use the while loop to cause increment. So I will be equals less than or equal to, call it 25. And in here we would use the console log to test out to see if that server doesn't crash. So only print out some values. So console log will say test, and in here we use the increment method. So then this time hopefully won't crash. So inspect element. Okay, so there's not much going on, so we'll just probably check. Is 2 greater than or equal to? Ah yes, I think that's a problem. Okay, now it's going to crash. This is my third attempt, so let's try this again, hopefully. So I found a solution on where I can keep the range between 1 to 10 using the while loop. So to do this, we'll call this let I equals to 1. And here, we use the while loop to increment the value. So for example, I is less than or equals to 10. So that's the range we're looking for. And in here we use the console log, console.log, and we use the backtick, and we call this hello world. And in here we use the $sign, and in that $sign as a variable created, you call it I. So then in here, instead of decrementing, this time we'll increment the value because we want to find out the number, and it should possibly come. So less than or equal to 10. There we go. Now here is the full layout on the iteration. So it iterated between 1 and 10, and it showcases where this number uses a larger number or not. So let's say when the user enters a number between 1 through 10, then it would automatically display all of the integers from between 1 to 10, and then this time use the logic statement to declare whether if the number chosen is true or false. So let's try 30 this time, and now it iterates from 30. Cool. So let's try decrementing this time. So we'll call this as 30. So we'll call this as 30, and instead of using less than or equal to, we say greater than or equal to, and we would of course decrement. Okay, so the issue was, okay, now it's crashed. Okay, now the issue is that once I'm decrementing, before decrementing, it will then of course automatically crash the server because we haven't used the decrement symbol before we define the whole value. So this is what comes up. Okay, cool. So now let's use a decrement symbol. So again, earlier on it crashed because we didn't include the increment. We didn't include the decrement symbol before defining out the values. So now once we append the decrement symbol, now we can change the value. So let I equals to 1. We use the while loop. I is greater than or equal to 1. So let's say I is 10. Now this time it decrements down to 1. In while loops, these are very useful on how you'll be able to define an element, but ensure that you use it in a more sophisticated way and ensure that it will not be able to disrupt the server. So this is what while loops are, and I can explain information about for loops. I'm going to conclude off this video today. This was me demonstrating on while loops and how they iterate values and other strings. So if you're new, please like, comment, share, turn your notification bell so you don't miss a video. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care. Peace.